Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the dog, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still he answered the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Radio Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Radio Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Officer Tatum show. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. First thing I want to jump on real quick while we allow everybody to get in is I want to talk about Brett Cooper real quick. Brett Cooper obviously left the Daily Wire. And what are my thoughts around it? I see a lot of content creators talking about Brett Cooper's departure. Obviously, I'm still young enough to remember when Candace left the Daily Wire. And here's my thoughts, just real quick. I don't have to go too deep into this. I honestly think it came down to money. In this industry, for those of you who don't know, people who are not independent are heavily involved and reliant upon the company that employs them, relying on a financial structure that the company gives them through contracts. Like with me, I did it on my own, and I run my own company, so how much I get paid or how much I get paid next year or what endeavors I want to do is all up to me. The growth of my success in social media and wherever else all belongs to me. And if it all comes crumbling down, it's because of me. But when you are a part of a major company, then that company dictates what they pay you and kind of what your social media is all about. I think also people should understand this too, is that when you sign up with a company like that, they own you for the most part. That's how they make money. They don't make money because you're so cool and you just add value to the company. They have to own the social media platforms in which they give to you, in which they utilize on your behalf, and they make that money, and then they pay you a portion of that money. So if they do merch and you're a part of a big corporation, they're going to own that merch, and you get a part of that merch. So I think that that's what this whole thing came down to with Brett Cooper, is that Brett Cooper has exploded over the last few years, in large part because of Daily Wire. You can't deny that. In large part because of Daily Wire. But she's exploded over a few years, and I think that she is demanding that she get paid based on what her social media presence is, because she gets far more views than Ben Shapiro. I think she get more views than anybody on Daily Wire on social media, and she's become an icon. I think she has a lot of upside. She has a lot of talent. She does really good with her merch. All of these things she does exceptionally well. And when they first signed her, she probably was signed into a contract, and she didn't have nothing but 100 people subscribed on her social media. And now she's surpassed me at 3 million. So with that being said, I think that that's pretty much what it has come down to. She probably told them, look, I'm doing an incredible job with you guys, and now I'm one of your biggest stars. You need to pay me $15 million or something like that on my next term, which she's probably worth that. But I think the Daily Wire can't pay that because of Candace Owens. I'm just going to be honest. Ain't nowhere in the world Daily Wire has recovered from Candace Owens' departure. Not only because it was an ugly departure, but one, because a lot of subscribers and people who subscribe to Daily Wire was because of Candace Owens. A lot. Not all, probably not most, but a lot. And so when she departed the way she departed, I think a lot of people went with her. And all the investment that they made into Candace Owens at the Daily Wire, they really had to eat that cost because she was now gone. But I think that Brett Cooper is going to do an incredible job outside of Daily Wire, just like Candace did. No knock to Daily Wire. I obviously don't like what they did to Candace and how they treated her, but no knock to them as far as a business perspective. I think in these companies, it is invaluable for you to go, to get the experience, and to move on. That's how these companies work. You go, you get the experience, and when you become too big for the company, you move on and start your own thing. Candace Owens is twice as successful in social media as she was with Daily Wire. I think they had a tremendous part in her growth and success in that period of time, but it was time for her to leave and sprout her wings and do her own thing. And I think she's probably made more money and been more successful without them. And Brett Cooper is going to be the exact same. Brett Cooper will have 1 million subscribers by the time she starts making her podcast again. Brett Cooper is going to be a bigger name than she was when she was with the Daily Wire. And that's just the way these things happen, okay? Or where these things go. But I just want to shout out to Brett Cooper. We'll put a link to her YouTube channel. Y'all didn't go follow her. I like Brett Cooper. I think she's amazing. I'm not a little girl, so I don't watch her stuff all the time. But I do think that she's add a tremendous amount of value. I like her perspective on a lot of things that I've seen. And I love to support her moving forward because I know it was a difficult business decision for her to walk away from money. Let's just be real. This is money we talking about. Walking away from probably $1 million or so, working with the Daily Wire, to then go off on her own and explore it herself. Okay, let's get to a couple other things. Joy Reid. I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were going to do it. I told y'all they were going to do it. They could not wait to draw the connection between Donald Trump and Hitler or Joseph Stalin and with the New York Times Person of the Year. They couldn't, I say New York Times Person of the Year. They couldn't resist. They had to compare this man. And you can tell at the end of this, you'll realize how stupid they are because they somehow forgot that although they're saying that Donald Trump won Times Magazine Person of the Year, I said New York Times, Time Magazine Person of the Year, so did Barack Obama, so did Greta Thunberg, so did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, so did a whole bunch of other people who are Democrats got Time Magazine's Person of the Year. So Donald Trump is not uniquely in a category of his own with him and Hitler. I mean, anyway, roll the clip.
Better or for worse is not much of a ringing endorsement, and we all know which one Trump falls under. And let's remember who else has been given this title in years past in the same category: Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Stalin won the distinction twice, just like Trump. Regardless of the company he keeps, we know how important these magazine covers are to Trump. Just look at this tour he gave the Washington Post in 2015 of his Trump Tower office, with a wall adorned with his various cover appearances. Better or for worse is not much of a ringing endorsement, and we all know which one Trump falls under.
Hold on a second. Somebody said she looked like a milk dud. Who is that said she looked like a milk dud? I just saw the comment here. Oh, Taylor said Joy looks like a milk dud. She do look like a little bald-head milk dud. She should be ashamed of herself. Let her talk, Nick.
And let's remember who else has been given this title in years past in the same category: Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Stalin won the distinction twice, just like Trump. Regardless of the company he keeps, we know how important these magazine covers are to Trump. Just look at this tour he gave the Washington Post in 2015 of his Trump Tower office, with a wall adorned with his various cover appearances. Better or for worse is not much of a...
I told y'all she was going to do it. I told y'all they were going to do it. Now, does it make any sense? The answer is no. Because along with Vladimir Putin and all these other people, Donald Trump, also they had a Time Magazine winner is you. That means everybody in America is a Time Magazine star. So that means we won it just like Hitler did. You can't make this stuff up. These people are so silly. It literally blows my socks off. Why do they care? I like them to be silly because the sillier they are, the more we win. The American people are worried about stuff in their pocket, not New York Times or Time Magazine's Person of the Year. They get them things out like candy bars, man. I done seen some people that I think is unworthy that want it. But Donald Trump is a figure, and we talked about it yesterday. I wish I still had my notes. But the other day when we spoke about this, I told y'all the criteria. The criteria is a person who make a difference in the world, whether good or bad. So Hitler made Time Magazine, I don't think because of anything he did that was good, or Joseph Stalin. They just had an impact in the world enough to make the magazine cover. But they just dumb as five left shoes on an eight-legged man. And I would accept their critique of Trump, but Barack Obama won it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won it as well. And I can go down a list of how many other people that won it that are celebrities. There have been groups and organizations that have won Times Person of the Year. So go miss me with that bull crap. But you know, Joy Reid, the bald head milk dud, she can't do it on her own. So Milk Dudley had to go out and request access to even more stupidity from her friends over at The View. So let's go on over to The View and see what stupid stuff they've said in relation to Donald Trump. We do have that clip, right? Roll it.
I don't know what people were thinking when they voted for him. I mean, this one statistic really got to me. He lost, during his term, 200,000 manufacturing jobs. He lost them.
Yeah.
Joe Biden added more than 775,000 jobs. And people voted for Trump. I think that they have been misinformed, misled by other networks. You know, people get mad at us. They say we're one-sided here.
Yeah.
The statistics are
But I
here.
do think it was cost of living, because I think a lot of voters think of
But
the Trump.
there were more jobs created.
They think of the Trump years before COVID. So, like, if you're judging it
You
by
mean the Obama?
no, they're thinking of the
years?
Trump years before the coronavirus came and
The Obama
unemployment
economy?
spiked and the economy went to free fall. And it was a time that people had more money, whether you attribute that to him or whatever you do. But
Obama.
that's what people were
They're getting
voting on.
false information.
I think they were also voting on immigration, and one of the things he says is that he's going to return all these people to the countries they came from, and he's going to make the countries take them, or he's not going to do business with those countries. Well, the countries are Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. We've got sanctions on them already. We're not doing business with them already.
Hold on. Let me clear my throat. She's stupid as a mud. Do you find it interesting that she said she picked all these other countries other than Mexico? She's picking poor countries and saying, well, they're gonna do tariffs and we're not gonna do business with them. We told Mexico, unless you want some tariffs, unless you want to not do business in America, you better stop this from happening. And that was but she left Mexico out. Because Mexico is the biggest proponent of doing this, the cartel, and also the Mexican government letting them just come right through Mexico to go to the United States of America. And they're saying, no, use your military force to not let people come and invade the border here that we share. It's not just an American border. It's the U.S.-Mexico border. That means Mexico should be protecting the border just like the United States. But, of course, she left that out. And then when they go about Donald Trump and all these jobs, he created 46 million trillion jobs. Do you believe that? Because we know they manipulate the numbers. Donald Trump lost 400 million jobs. And it's like, no, that was COVID. Y'all literally told everybody to stay at home if they weren't essential. And you count that as a job loss. And then when the people got their jobs back because they no longer had to work from home or be laid off and the government paying them to sit at home, they got their jobs back and then you call it a job growth. That's the stupidest thing on planet Earth. So when they run around and say, they did all these jobs and then you create manufacturing jobs and then manufacturing people voted for Trump. That's because the jobs weren't really what y'all talking about. People are struggling outside of these jobs you claim they created and Donald Trump lost. I mean, the people have spoken. Thank y'all for being stupid, but the people have spoken. Was that the end of that clip? Yeah. The people have spoken and they've spoken very clearly. Donald Trump is the man with the master plan. Donald Trump is going to build the economy like he did before. People already see the tendencies and the propensities of the current administration. And nobody wants to live under that regime anymore. So they were willing to go back to Trump and give him another try, then spend 4 more years with a group of people who are incompetent that are losing American resources and really bound down to every other country that's humanly possible and putting us on the back burner. Ain't no way in the world we should be giving money to Ukraine at this point. We didn't gave them enough. Look, if you can't win with that money we didn't gave you, bro, when are y'all going to win? Are we going to get them money for the next 25 years? And we ain't just giving the money that we profited on. We giving the money that you didn't profit on that they taking out of your tax dollars and giving it to somebody that I think is not well deserving. So shout out to Milk Dud and the Cackling Hens because y'all give me a lot of entertainment value because y'all so silly. I want to go to another story about Caitlyn Clark real quick. And the controversy with Caitlyn Clark continues. And I unfollowed Caitlyn Clark just yesterday. Now, she don't care. She got 3 million people. But I just wanted to be known that I'm disappointed that she literally backed away from what she represented to us. She represented a voice of not feeling sorry for yourself because you're white, and a voice of saying, yeah, I can reinvigorate the WNBA because I'm talented, not because I'm a virtue signaling black lesbian that want reparations and all this old crazy stuff and kneeling for the national anthem and I deserve this and I'm entitled. She worked hard and she got to a level of accomplishment, and that's why we liked her. We loved her because she stayed out of it. And now she then got sucked into the circle of foolery where she want to honor black women. But I tell you this, Scott Jennings just literally can't stop winning. Let's go to the Kerry clip where Scott Jennings is in it, then we'll go to Scott Jennings. But Scott Jennings can't stop winning. He's literally the conservative VIP of the year because he has to go on CNN every day and just, he's the only one that makes sense. And I tell y'all this every time I play something on my channel, whether it's a news hit or not, I always have to bring up the obvious. Why are the people of the melanin the silliest people on this show? Why? They literally make Scott Jennings out to be a genius. Like the dude is the smartest person on planet Earth. When you watch it, it seems like he's the smartest person on planet Earth when you watch these idiots talk about things that are completely nonsensical, if you ask me. Roll the clip.
But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Dawn Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all who really built this league, and they weren't getting the attention because, let's face it, the league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post about Taylor Swift post about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They unfollow
endorsing
her.
voting,
like saying go vote, yeah. And then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, you know what? I am so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person, that they are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly, saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white, she's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about. She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year? And she makes more money than the people who built this league, and she understands there's a reason.
League?
Not because she shoots the ball well.
Built this league?
Yes, that also helps. But there's another reason, Scott. There's a reason that says I'm white, and it's a privilege, and people love me. And I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Hold on a second. Hold on. For her to be on TV and say smart, truth, and factual, that's crazy to me. Smart, truthful, and factual. I don't know what she facts or something she said, something crazy. But let me interject real quick right here. Okay. Where did they get this idea that the black women weren't getting their flowers? Where did they get this idea? I'm assuming that they think that this is unique to the WNBA, because why don't the NBA complain about this? Why is the NBA not complaining like this? Why is the NBA not complaining that black people don't get their credit? It's the WNBA that's doing it. No, it's because you guys are not good. It's because you guys are not performing. You guys have been losing money every year. And therefore, you get a white girl in there, and now the stadiums are sold out. Yeah, okay. It's because she's good. It's because she brought some professionalism. It's because she brought a little sexiness to it. All right. Let's hear what Scott Jennings has to say. Roll the clip.
A couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase, my truth, yeah, I immediately then discount everything else you say, because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
that's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. Mm-hmm. But the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something. What did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean? What did they
possibly,
build? What do you mean? What did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've had a business model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas. That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
Okay. Scott Jennings just why he sound like an oracle or something? It sounds like he's lived here before. Like Scott Jennings sound like he's a prophet. Because these people are so silly to me. He said they all touting the black women. Look at what they built. They just built all this great stuff. And I'm just giving them they respect they deserve. He said, what did they build? The league still with Caitlyn Clark lost $40 million. They have not turned a profit not one time that the league has been operating in 25 plus years. They have never turned a profit. What are they building? They're building a company. Like, they should actually be ashamed of themselves. Like, Caitlyn Clark should be shaming them and saying, y'all had 25 years to put this together. I've been in there 1 year, and I raised the profile and revenue in 1 year. Y'all been here for 25 years and you've been losing money every year. Has to be subsidized by the black players in the NBA. Y'all ain't gonna bring that up? Oh, these women have been successful and they've been building it. No! The NBA has been building the WNBA. If it wasn't for LeBron them hitting them threes and making all that money, they wouldn't be able to subsidize y'all. No, the investors are the ones who are helping build the WNBA. And the people who own the teams, it's not just the players, because they trash. So, roll the clip.
Reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
Isn't it because of the investors?
No, Scott, stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
Who pays for it?
I was in Dickie's arena. Let me just tell you.
It says more about the people who are getting offended by it than her.
I think they're just disappointed that she appears to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't like the
and
way.
here's the disappointment.
It's the white privilege. Let him articulate this because I want to learn something.
I feel a little bad for her because she's going to learn that it will never be enough. No matter how much of the phrasing, no matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts.
Why do you assume
they hate her guts?
Why do you assume that she is trying to pander? Isn't it also
because I hear the language?
Scott,
it's the language of the pander.
Scott,
I hear the phrase white privilege. Sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all. She doesn't get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports is the great equalizer, and it just felt like to a lot of people that she was groveling for no reason because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's basketball.
All right,
God, this guy. Can I donate to Scott Jennings? Like, can I buy him a drink or something? Can I do something for him? The guy is the truth in the midst of stupidity. Like, he hit the nail on the head. Nobody's mad at Caitlyn Clark for whatever. It's that we thought that she would be above the fray and make a real difference and put the race stuff aside and say, look, man, I made it here on my own merit. I love the game. I'm changing the game. I got a shoe. I got a brand. Let's move past this stuff. Nobody wants to talk about who did what, when, where, and how. Look, good job for you. You gave me the opportunity to be in a league like this. Okay, now it's time for me to take over. Y'all, let's move on as a unified group of women and not try to make it about race and division. We thought she was that. But then, who's to say? You still follow and watch her play basketball. I'm not really interested in it. I wasn't interested in basketball to start with. I was watching it because I thought she was the great white hope, okay? I thought she was going to change the game. But what does she do? My truth. That's exactly what I heard her say, my truth. I said, oh, she captured. And then you go and listen to the stuff she say, and they go, oh, the black women that did this, I acknowledge my privilege. What? I don't understand how white people still capitulate to black ignorance. And it's not just black ignorance, it's leftist ignorance. White people claim they have white privilege in white majority environments. It's stupid, but I can see the argument, right? How do you get white privilege in black environments? You can't win. The league full of black women, and somehow the one white girl that happened to be good is now experiencing white privilege over all these black women. Who's necessarily issuing white privilege? Come on, let's talk real quick. Who's giving her the white privilege? Who's bestowing white privilege upon her? Oh, white people just started watching the WNBA because of her? So you telling me it was all black people watching it? No, it's not. Where the women at? Why are you criticizing people? Why we criticize women? Women make up half of the population in the United States of America. A lot of shopping and purchasing come from women. Women have purchasing power, and women have a lot of leverage in this country. If women really wanted to support women's sports, they'll go watch the games. They'll go buy the tickets. They'll go buy the suites. Women ain't watching that stuff. Women at the WNBA, at the NBA game. They're not the WNBA game. So women don't even consider that to be a sport that's worthy of giving undivided attention to. It's really just men. And if y'all had them running around in thongs, it'd be more men watching it. But the truth of the matter is, can we let this racist stuff go? The girl doesn't have white privilege. Because if it was a black girl that was as good as her with the accolades that she had, nobody'd be talking about it, be kissing her butt. She'll be a superstar like LeBron James and all these other black players that are superstars in every sport. I can't believe Caitlyn Clark went out like that. Oh, yeah, I acknowledge my privilege. No, you don't get the privilege, Caitlyn Clark. You're actually denied privilege because you did good enough to get your flowers, but they bashing you. And that's the whole subject of conversation because you white. If you wasn't white, nobody'd be bashing you. You wouldn't even have to be on a podium talking like that. But they don't get it. One day she'll get it. Like Scott Jennings says, it's never enough. It's just never enough. She's going to realize that the more she capitulate, the more they're going to demand of her, and the more they're going to try to suppress her for being a white woman. They're going to want her to not be on billboards. They're going to want her to not have a shoe. They're going to want her to not be to make way for black women in the sport. They're going to do this until she's exhausted. And she's going to give up everything she has for women that don't even care about her. Let's go to the View clip because the View has something to say about this too, and I can't leave the View out because they undefeated in stupidity. Roll the clip.
So chose WNBA superstar Caitlyn Clark as their athlete of the year. But okay, here's the problem. A lot of conservatives are having a fit over her interview, and here's what they're so mad about. Watch.
Coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of.
Now, some conservatives are accusing her of, quote, bowing to the woke mob, unquote, for acknowledging her privilege. Why does this trigger these people on the right?
I have no idea. Was there more to that clip? Because I'm a conservative and trying to be triggered and I'm not seeing it.
No, you're not
I'm struggling.
There's nothing to be triggered, and this is not the first time that she has acknowledged the people whose shoulders she has stood upon. I mean, the WNBA is a very young league. It's only 25 years old, and I'm on the board of the WNBA Board of Advocates. It's over 80% black, and because of Caitlyn Clark, which I think is who's an incredible athlete who looks like a badass on that cover.
I'm going to wear that dress to the Emmys. That's
it's a good one. But look at this. Diversity does matter. Representation matters. People now see themselves in Caitlyn Clark because white viewers have grown 156% year over year and 301% on ESPN networks. That matters not only for the white players, but for the black players too.
Hold on. I'm going to interpret the disingenuous nature of what they're saying. Caitlyn Clark is actually a minority in the league. So there's no such thing as that her bringing white privilege to the league. When they claim that there's 100 and some % of new white listeners, they're not accounting for all the new listeners. The majority of the people that live in this country and abroad are white that are in first world countries that can watch TV anyway. You look at America, it's 60 some % of American people are white. So they're not talking about the totality of increase in viewership. I know you will find it interesting that she said nothing about the viewership of men and women. So what really happens is that she got a lot of more attention, so a lot more people are watching. Just so happened most people live in this country are white. So the influx in white viewership is going to go up. How many more black people are watching? How many more? Think about this. How many more black people are watching? And this is where they fall in the conundrum, and I'm going to move forward. Now, put this in perspective. If she claims that I want to give the roses to the black women that have built this league, then if the white viewership, according to them, is 500 times more, then technically the white people are still supporting a league full of black women. So Caitlyn Clark has gotten white people to support black people. Black people ain't supporting black people. It's white people that's supporting the black league. So what are y'all even saying? Like, you try to act like white people have privilege and all this stuff. It's really white people are the ones they're giving y'all an opportunity. Really, y'all have the privilege because you ain't done nothing. Roll the clip.
Everyone wins. Because they're always triggered. They're just find a subject. What's the trigger du jour? It's like, you know, it's like the special at Denny's. Give me the special of the day.
Yeah.
Look, I loved her answer. I have no idea, barely know what a basketball looks like, but I loved her answer because she's not letting these folks who want to turn her into some sort of racial avatar define her. She defines herself, and she said, I am very good at tuning out the noise. She wants to play basketball, which she obviously does in an excellent, excellent manner, has broken all sorts of records. If anybody else was recognizing pioneers of their industry who toiled away for 25 years with basically little recognition and very little pay, and she is acknowledging them, seeing them, respecting them, and thanking them, where is the controversy?
Here's the controversy. Here's the controversy. It's because she's making it about race. If she said, look at the pioneers that started this, Lisa Leslie, and she go down the list of all these women, okay, that's fine. But when you start saying the black women built this, well, name a black woman that own any of the WNBA teams. The people, name a black woman that's in the NBA. The NBA subsidizes the WNBA. So when you want to give your hat off to people that built the league, you should be talking about the NBA players. And you should be talking about the white folks that invested in the WNBA. They have a part of that too. So how much you think the white people who invested in the black players congruently? This is why we have a problem with it, because it's getting weird. These black women aren't the only thing that have the WNBA make the NBA possible. It also got a lot to do with the white people who invested in it too. And they continue to invest in a dying sport. Roll the clip.
What I was going to say is that she repeatedly recognizes that the thing I feel is unfair for Caitlyn Clark is she's always saddled with these issues that she doesn't have herself. This is not, you know, they pitted Angel Reese against her, and it was always coming down to race and all these things. Caitlyn Clark said in that interview, I earned everything I got. Her stats speak for themselves. She broke records that were 50 years old. But recognizing that this was built on the shoulders of people, a game she admired, players and teammates that she loved. And the most important thing she said, actually, is that brands and companies have to invest in those players too, and she needs to keep making them aware of that.
But
that's where it's not translating.
What is wrong with acknowledging white privilege, though? I don't see what's wrong.
Stop. She didn't say that, but if she is saying that, it's crazy. That brands have to invest in these players too. Brands don't invest in you because you white or black. Brands invest in you because you can make them money. Michael Jordan wasn't a part of Nike because he was a black man from the inner city or something. Michael Jordan could move tickets, and they saw the value in him moving forward, and they became a $1 billion company by selling Michael Jordans. That's what they saw in him. Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese got contracts that none of these black girls got either. If you're talking about a league full of black girls, there's a lot of black girls that make money, and a lot of them don't. So everybody should make money? No, the people that can sell tickets make money. The people that can sell tennis shoes make money. Every black person in the NBA don't have a contract like LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal them did back when they played. It's because they were good. And somebody said, if I put this man on a commercial and he has a tennis shoe, we're going to sell $1 billion worth of tennis shoes. It don't make sense to say, oh yeah, because these black lesbians they started out in the sport and they were the first ones to play, that you should give all of your advertising dollars to them too because they started the thing. Many people don't even know who these women are. They missing layups and all kind of stuff. Ain't nobody finna put their advertising on you and you can't make a layup. Roll it.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I don't think they understand privilege,
It's
and
reality.
which is why they.
It's a true story in this country and many other countries.
People
that
see
when
it
you are
as, but people
Caucasian,
aren't
you
willing
have
to admit that.
advantages of where you live, who you can marry. Even it used to be even against
the education you get or don't.
But
get.
I do think that, to Sarah's point, people kind of keep putting her into this box to fight a battle that she didn't even sign up to. Every time she's given a microphone, she's a great spokesperson for the WNBA. She raises up other players. She's always like bringing other women up around her. It's not just about her. She acknowledges the people who came before her, and it's like again and again, it feels like the media wants her to have some kind of fight that she's not going to be in.
Someone wants her to mess up in her answers,
and she's
in the right place on this. And I think it's important
some
to
of these white people need to get a grip on themselves.
Can somebody answer this in the chat? Like, why do white people hate themselves so much? It's kind of like the survivor's remorse. I think that's what they call it, survivor's remorse, or something like that, where you're on the battlefield and you're the only one that survived in your platoon, and you feel bad about that. And I know black people feel that way as well, because when you make it out the hood and you are very successful, you feel bad because when you go back to where you grew up at, everybody poor and struggling, and you're like, I made it out, but a lot of y'all ain't got nothing, ain't got a pot to pee in and nowhere to throw it. And so then you start feeling bad, like, dang, did I leave my people behind? Did I leave my family behind? Like, dang, I'm a sellout. You start feeling like I escaped the struggle. They still got to struggle. So when I go home and we at the barbecue, I got enough money to do the things that I want to do in life, and some of my family members still struggling to pay their light bill. And then you feel guilty about it. And I think that's what happens with white women or white people that do very well and they got a very established family. They start feeling bad for black people and others. And that's not what you should do. What you should do is use where you're at, no matter what color you are, to uplift anybody that's in a position that needs you. And white people got to stop feeling bad for accomplishments that white people have done. Nobody shames themselves more than white people do. It's like, hey, man, y'all got a good track record. Yeah, there are some things that went south here and there, but you did develop and create the greatest document other than the Bible, which is the Constitution of the United States of America. That's a pretty good accomplishment. And you did kind of take a step out there and tell the British that we're done. We're not, make our own country. Went out on our own. Everybody thought this probably would fail, and we're the most prosperous country in the shortest period of time. That's something to be proud about. The fact that we were one of the first countries to abolish slavery and move past that to the point that we're at today, white people have something to pat themselves on the back for. When a black person accomplishes something, they don't mind patting themselves on the backs and saying, look at us, watch us roar, look, we dominating this. White people feel like they can't say, look at what we've done. I don't understand why. Pat yourself on the back every now and again. God dang, I'm happy to be in a country full of white people. I'm happy to live around these white people right here. I live around nothing but white people, and I ain't got no shame in it. Safe, ain't no gang banging around here, ain't nobody trying to rob your stuff and do all that. You could say it's socioeconomical too, but let's be real. Let's be real. Show me a place where it's 80% black, and I'll show you a place where it's crime and drama and chaos. Now, there are places where white people live that are drama, chaos too, because poverty really is the component there. But somehow black people go beyond poverty. Like, even in good areas, black people still find a way to do something crazy with it. And I don't think it's just black people. I think it's a culture that people adopt. And they shame people like me. Because I say, no, I want to be the greatest I can be. I want to make the most money that I can make. I want to be the greatest Christian I can be. I want to be the greatest father. I want to be the greatest I can be, man. I'm not trying to be this for black folks, for white folks, for conservatives, and nothing. I'm trying to do what God has called me to do and maximize the potential he put in me. That's all I'm trying to do. And some of y'all rather be black than be right. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. So, but on the topic of that, I want to bring up Charleston White, because Charleston White, and then we're going to go to the 7-year-old. What you say? Yeah, we're gonna get the Charleston White clip, and then we're gonna talk about the 7-year-old that got killed in a drunk driving accident, where you get a illegal alien that's in this country and shouldn't be here, end up killing this girl. And where's Black Lives Matter at? Where they at? Where's the news coverage? They talk about Jordan Neely. They got pictures of him. They raising money for him. They crying on television. They on TV talking about it. Ain't nobody talking about this young girl. But that's why I'm talking about it. So I want to play this clip from Charleston Gray because it brings it all in full circle. Charleston White. I said Gray. It's funny. I went to school with a dude named Charleston Gray. He actually played offensive tackle for us. Went to North Carolina too. Anyway, Charleston White. And Charleston White from Fort Worth, where I grew up at. And that's probably an interview I should get. It's probably interview Charleston White because I don't know where he grew up in Fort Worth, but Fort Worth ain't big. If you black, you live in a certain part of Fort Worth, and you went to a certain school in Fort Worth because there was the school that black people went to. O.D. Wide, Dunbar High School, Polytech, Trimble Tech, and it's another one I forget. But you only got 5 schools where black people go. So Charleston probably went to one of the schools I went to, and that'd be a good interview. But listen to him say this because he got more hood credit than me because I think he lived in the hood. I lived in the hood, lived in a good neighborhood. I lived all around, man. I went to a private school, went to public school. I went to Crowley, North Crowley, and they were a good school. We went to Dunbar to play sports. That wasn't so good of a school, but we didn't go because we had to. We went because it was sports. I got a scholarship. I was All-American, all of that. Played Charleston.
Us as black people, do we have any allies? Do we have a race that
white people?
Bro.
A white person is more likely to speak to you and embrace you out in public or outside of your normal environment before Mexican or
even
Asian.
Africans and like Nigerians say crazy shit about African Americans.
Yeah. Nobody rock with us but white Americans, homie.
But what is it about us though that makes us the most hated?
We're disrespectful. We're arrogant.
Loud.
We have an ethnocentric ideology, belief, as if we're better than everybody because we think we were the first.
We think we're old.
Yeah. We're entitled.
Yeah.
We're lazy. When you get on the job with most black people, everybody look at them and say, man, we don't work as hard as other people. So it's obvious why they don't like us. Just look around on your job. We the loudest. We come in. If we having a bad day, we go tell them we ain't take what we not gonna put up with. And we're not the brightest. We're not. We used to be at the front of the pack, homie, in the 60s and the 50s. We're not the brightest anymore. And we ain't the strongest and the toughest like we think we are. That's why the white boys got into UFC and started kicking ass.
Charleston be just saying random stuff sometimes too. But where's the lie at though? This is what I've been trying to preach, and it's only because I want people of the melanin to do better. We got to be honest with ourselves, and then we can make it happen. Like I'm telling you, I go to the airport. The craziest airports I've ever been to is these airports that's filled with black people working there. I don't know why it's that way. Ghetto. I was at an airport in St. Louis. These people about to fight. The employees about to fight each other in the airport. You're like, man, really? This what y'all doing? Y'all making us look bad. Can y'all keep it together? You on the job with your uniform on. I remember I got on a plane. Beautiful black woman was a flight attendant. I get on. I go into my seat. These 3 black dudes get on the plane. They pants sagging now. They smell like weed. They getting on the plane, and then they go, oh, look, you shot it. Look at that booty on that shot over there. I'm like, come on, man. Y'all really doing this? These white people are looking at us crazy. I remember when I was on campus back when I was still trying to be a thug. Me and my homeboy used to say the N-word every 5 minutes. In this, in that, in. Me and him was on campus one day at the University of Arizona in the mall. That's where when the classes switch, everybody walked through the mall to get to their classes. Man, he in the middle of the thing laughing. He rolled on the ground. Man, it's that. I'm just, and then I thought about it for a minute. I looked around and said, God, dog, we look stupider than the mud up here. We yelling in front of all these white people. But yet the first thing a black man cry about is a white person say an N-word. I said, man, we got to do something different here. This looks silly. I'm just saying, man. I mean, you go places, even places where you live and places in the country, you see a whole bunch of black people there. It used to not be like that. That's the thing. Black people used to have a standard of living Like back in Martin Luther King Day, Million Man March, they all wore suit and tie. They were respectful. They had pride in doing the right thing, pride in getting an education. All black people wanted in the past was to be treated fairly. They didn't want no handouts. Man, Martin Luther King kind of started the handout thing, but for the most part, black people was just like, bro, get out of our way. Follow the Constitution of the United States of America. Can you let us be free? You putting restrictions on stuff we doing. Just let us do our thing. You do your, I do mine, and we good. Now it's entitlement, reparations, and we blame everybody for everything. Oh, look, man, look what they doing in our music. Look at what the Jews doing in rap music. Wait. The Jews that own the rap, these record labels are there to make money. You the one rapping about killing and stealing and thugging, and y'all the one buying it. Why you gonna blame him? He making money. If you made music and it was selling and you were talking about cotton candy, a person to sell a cotton candy album. But y'all got music talking about disrespecting other black women. That's crazy to me. Celebrating thugs and people that's incarcerated in prison acting. I mean, look at our celebrities. Who's the number one music artist that people like that's black? Kendrick Lamar, Drake. And go look at what they rap about. They not rapping about nothing positive. I can pull a song, you can randomly pick a song. It's racist, it's evil, it's degrading. And this is what we like listen to. This is what we pride ourselves on. And see, I'm the Negro whisperer, because a lot of black people are so disingenuous that it made me look like I'm a sellout because I'm just telling the truth. I grew up in the hood. I know what I'm talking about. I didn't get a silver spoon in my mouth my whole life. I had a progressive experience growing up. We stayed in places that weren't upper class, maybe lower class, lower middle class, some poor. We stayed in Section 8 housing before. We stayed in Section 8 housing when we stayed in white settlement. You know, we stayed in some places that were sketchy. We also stayed in some good places. We went to some schools that wasn't that good. We also went to some good ones. I know what it's like to be at a white school at North Crowley. For those of you who don't know my past and don't know who I came from, for those of you who live in Texas and Fort Worth and you know what these schools that I'm talking about, like we went to Greenbrier, we went to the schools are gone now, but it was Cathedral of Praise right off in Arlington, Texas, right off the freeway. Cathedral of Praise. It was a Catholic private school. We went there for a couple years. We went to Crowley Middle School. We went to Crowley High School. It was North Crowley High School. Now they the number one in the nation in football or something like that. And then we went to Dunbar High School. So I had a chance to go to that school that was in North Crowley, where the teachers made sure you learned. It was no conflict in the classroom. They let you get a little time after school to finish your homework. You get help with your homework. There ain't no fights in the school. There was some black people and there was some people that want to be thugs, but that was not the overwhelming majority of people that went to the school. They wasn't putting up with that. You get the cussing and acting a fool, they're going to kick you out of school. And you knew they'd kick you out of school. And then I went to Dunbar, right in Stop 6. And live with my grandma, because we didn't have to live with grandma, but we lived with grandma so we could play football. We lived with my grandma right in Eastwood. And then we went to school in Stop 6. And Dunbar was crazy. People fighting in the school, pepper spraying. The cops used to pepper spray. They used to get the big old canister, pepper spray the whole hallway. It smelled like pepper spray for 2 or 3 days after people fight. I was getting in a little trouble. I got kicked out of school. So I got kicked out of school my senior year, getting into a fight with one of my teachers. I didn't really get a chance to fight her, but I was very threatening and I threw a chair at her and stuff like that. I was crazy. I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of school for trying to fight a dude in the office because him and my girlfriend got into a fight. And lo and behold, after I get suspended, I find out she was winning the fight. Kicked me right out of school. I'm in there saying the N-word, running up on him. I'll never forget that lady. Somebody's parent was in there watching me be a nut job. Man, got kicked out, got suspended. And when I got suspended, they had 12 fights in the school for the 3 days I was suspended. And when I came back to school, the hallway smelled like pepper spray. because I heard people were coming off the street in the school fighting. Dudes used to roll dice and shoot dice in the bathroom instead of going to class. People selling drugs at the school. One of the dudes on my football team was a real life gangster. He had his revolver that he brought to practice every day. I'm not saying his name because he a real gangster. I don't want him coming after me. I don't want to indict him on nothing. We were in high school. He brought his gun to practice every day. I'm sure coach knew he had the gun, but he wasn't going to say nothing because he a gangster. He put that gun right in his locker, we go play, and then he come get his gun out. Because when he walk home, ain't like me going home. He got to go home and live in the hood. We wasn't that po. I know what it is. That's why when I say the stuff that I say, it's because of experience. I grew up with a family where people smoked crack in my own family. We had crackheads in our family. I remember right on Stall Cup, y'all can look this up, at the car wash, crackheads I don't know how they used to manipulate that car wash machine, but them crackheads used to manipulate the car wash machine, and you give them $5, they'll wash your whole car, do a full detail for 10. And the first time I saw somebody smoke crack in real life is when I never went to that car wash ever again. I saw another brother smoking a crack pipe right behind that thing, and I said, I can't believe this is where my money going. I'm paying for my own people to smoke themselves to death. What am I even doing? And now they call me and Charleston a sellout. Let me tell y'all about this other situation because I think it's horrific. And if you want to support their family, we'll put the GoFundMe up here. So I don't know if you guys know about the young black 7-year-old girl that was killed by a drunk driver. Her mother is still in the hospital, I believe, in severe conditions. And the driver is a Venezuelan illegal immigrant, was let out of jail just 2 months before killing this little girl. And his ICE hold was lifted. Yeah, I was like, this is not it. And so let me just read a little bit about this. The young girl name is Ivory Smith, a 7-year-old second grader student at Clink Elementary School in Klein Independent School District. A little bit of details. The collision occurred at 2:45 a.m. at the intersection of, I don't know how to say this, Bammel, North Houston Road, and Sam Houston Parkway. This is, maybe they go to something else because this is them clowning Brennan. Okay. So, and it says Ivory was in the back seat of the vehicle driven by her mother when the car T-boned them at the intersection. The driver of the other vehicle was identified as 41-year-old dummy from Venezuelan migrant, according to the New York Post. Now, obviously, he was intoxicated, shouldn't have been here. He was arrested for his intoxication and manslaughter. A bond was set for him at $150,000 with conditions including alcohol tests and prohibition of driving. ICE detainer was placed on this idiot as he is not a U.S. citizen. Let's see, here's a few prior histories of this dummy. He was previously arrested in 2024 for assaulting a family member. The felony assault charge was reduced to a misdemeanor, and after pleading guilty, he was sentenced to 113 days in jail, which he had already served, and it led to his release. And then he T-boned his family, wrote his clip.
A 7-year-old girl killed by an illegal immigrant driving drunk in Texas.
You came over here illegal, so that means you don't follow the law and you think that you're above the law. Ivory was everybody's light. When she walked in the room, she just lit the room up.
The Venezuelan national charged with intoxicated manslaughter was released from custody just 2 months ago after assaulting a member of his family. Christina Coleman is live in L.A. with more on this heart-rending story. Christina, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Trace. Yeah, such a tragedy. That Venezuelan migrant is accused of killing 7-year-old Ivory Smith in a late-night drunk driving accident in Houston. Her family is absolutely devastated.
We just want her here. We want to see those smiles back on her face, back on our family's face, and we'll never be the same.
Up north, Democratic New York City Mayor Eric Adams and incoming border czar Tom Homan met up today and discussed criminal migrants. The two apparently reached some common ground. Homan says it was a great meeting.
Okay. That's another story. So let's go to the GoFundMe real quick because I want to point this out just real quick. The hypocrisy of how they treat illegal aliens in our country is insane. And then also the fact that they can't even raise $80,000 for this young girl when Black Lives Matter for a thug and a criminal will be raising millions of dollars. They could talk about Jordan Neely till they're blue in the face, but nobody's talking about Ivory. That girl did not deserve to die at all. She wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't high on no train, threatening to kill people. She didn't pull a gun on a police officer. It's the same thing we did about with the young girl. I forget her name now. It was in 2020. Sakaria Turner. I think I'm saying her name wrong. I'll get her name in a minute. We raised $300,000 for her family because that was a bigger high-profile case. But I'm saying, how's she at $57,000 right now? That's a shame. Sakaria Turner, that was her name. It's a shame she's at $57,000 right now. Now, I'm finna give some money to this. Did you put the link? Nick, put the link in there. Pin it. We'll do the link, pin it, and I'm going to give money right now as we speak. Why would you do that, Brandon? It's because I feel like this is a horrifying situation, and when a young girl is involved and the family is going through what they're going through at the hands of an illegal alien, we should be supportive of the family. Because they can raise money for Jordan Neely and do all this other stuff and all these black criminals, but they won't help this young black girl and her family recover from this because she still have a mama that have to recover and a family that needs support. I don't know if y'all know, because you probably never buried a kid before, but there's a lot of money associated with having a funeral for a little kid. Unless you cremate them, if you have them a casket and a funeral proceeding, the funeral home charges money. If you want the family there, you want food, you want everything, it could cost a lot of money. And the family is going to need to have some money because I guarantee you she didn't have life insurance for her 7-year-old. And also the mama's medical bills because she all bent up in the hospital because some illegal alien then blew through an intersection and T-boned them. So, okay. The thing is here, I'm going to donate live while we're sitting here. And if you want to do the same, just click on the link and donate something. If you care. I mean, you don't have to. So I'm going to donate a one-time gift. I'm definitely not going to give them a tip, which the tip goes to GoFundMe. I'm just not giving a tip to GoFundMe. They do enough, okay? And I'm just going to give right here. Let me see if I can pull my credit card stuff in there real quick. Y'all can't see it because then if you saw it, it'll bounce. So don't try to act like you steal my stuff. It's gonna be a bouncing checks going on. Okay, let's see if I got my memory. Oh yeah, I remembered it. Come on across with the hot sauce. Y'all, just 1 second. Bear with me. I'm gonna give right now. And I do this also because I feel like God has blessed me enough for me to be able to do this for people. Okay. Okay, boom. Let me hit the donation button and see what happened. All right. Stay tuned. Hope it go through. Because I've been spinning on that card for a long time right now, boy. All right. All right, it went through just now. It may not show up on y'all side, but yeah, it went through just now. So we gave to the family. If you go to see where it say top donors. Okay, we in there. We probably in there somewhere. Yeah, the number update. It may take a while for you guys to see it, but just so you know, I ain't just make this up. It may take a little minute, but we donated. So if you want to donate to the young girl, donate. Let's get her to her goal if you got it to give. I don't know. That's y'all. I'll be asking y'all to donate to a lot of stuff. But the truth of the matter is that we're donating to a good cause. We're donating to, so there you go. So we donated. If you see it right there, we donate $1,000 to the family. Merry Christmas to her family, and hopefully they can recover and use some of that money. But I'm sick of these Black Lives Matter activists and all this saying all this crazy stuff and acting like they really care about black people, and they do all this and all this. And all that money that y'all raised in y'all should be going around and supporting black families off the rip. Just every time you see a black family in need, Black Lives Matter, all that money that they rung up, instead of buying mansions. I don't even want to talk about it. It make me so mad. They taking that money and going buying mansions and stuff. That, like, how do you not go to prison over that? I hope Donald Trump investigate that. They doing money laundering. Going and spending all your hard-earned money that you really would start going to or something. And I ain't getting no money to them because I knew they full of crap. Giving that money over to some random people. All right, let's go to two things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Charlamagne, the fraud. Only reason I call him Charlamagne the fraud is because I feel like that he's not genuine in his approach to his politics. He's still hanging on to what the black people are going to say about him instead of him being honest with himself. So as soon as we get that clip ready, we're going to play Charlamagne, and then we're going to talk about this teacher that wanted to start a sex cult. We couldn't find a lot of corroborating evidence, so we'll just play the clip in a minute. Because I don't know if this is taken out of context or not. She could be reading about a story and the kid filmed her to go viral. I'm not sure if that was what happened or not. But anyway, let's play the clip from Charlamagne the fraud, talking about how he feel about Joe Biden in the totality of his tenure, and especially the pardons. Because Joe Biden didn't pardon somebody today. He pardoned a girl that embezzled. That's why I saw this yesterday. It just came to my mind. I shared it with you, Nick. I saw an article, and they were doing like a documentary of this woman in a small town that stole over $58 million from a small town. And I just heard today that Joe Biden pardoned that lady that embezzled all that money from that small town to the tune of $58 million. But anyway, roll the Charlamagne clip.
I don't think President Biden should do preemptive pardons either. Makes people look guilty, if you ask me. Biden should be pardoning all the nonviolent drug offenders in federal prison. He should be pardoning everybody in federal prison for nonviolent weed convictions, okay? He should be pardoning Marilyn Mosby. Those are the pardons he should be working on before he get his old ass up out of here.
And you don't think the preemptive, like, there's people that Trump are going to be attacking, right? You know there's people that went at Trump, that tried to get him locked up. You know he's going to go with them.
Yeah, but why would I be pardoning you if you don't have any crimes connected to you? Don't that make you look guilty? If I give you a preemptive pardon?
No, it means that we know who Trump is and we know what Trump's probably going to do.
That means, all right, could mean Trump knows something that we don't know. And that's why he's going after these people. I just don't understand why you would give somebody a preemptive pardon. Like, it just feels like you saying, okay, I know this person is guilty of something, and Trump may go after them.
Because he said for the last couple of years he's going to be going at them.
Yeah, but I can't just go at you for no reason.
Donald Trump?
I mean, it just seems strange to do preemptive pardons. If you ask
All
me.
right.
But what do I know? I stay out of white people. I try to stay out of white people's business.
I try to stay out of white people's business. What a racist thing to say. What if a white person came in and said, I try to stay out of black people's business? Nobody's saying that. I want to see how many people, or some of the notable people that Joe Biden has pardoned. Because I just said that other lady, and I thought that was interesting. Let's see. Joe Biden recent pardons. So it says Biden commuted the sentence of 1,500 Americans, a record for one day. And I don't know how many, can y'all look it up for me? How many people did Trump commute sentences of and pardon? Because pardon and commuting sentences are different, but it's the same end result. It says Joe Biden on Thursday said on Thursday that he is commuting the sentence of nearly 1,500 people and pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes in a sweeping act of clemency during his final week in office. Now, according to some things that I've seen, I think I got it on here right now. I found it. So when I look at it, I'm looking at Joe Biden, and maybe we should put this on the screen. The New York Times put this out there. I'm gonna send it to you, Nick. I'm gonna send it to you in Slack. 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 I'm gonna send it to The New York Times put this out there. Hold on, y'all bear with me 1 minute. And, of course, you're not on here. Okay. So I'm looking at it right here, and it shows, God dang, that's insane. Maybe this is just for one day. It says Biden's actions was one of the biggest grants of clemency in modern American history. President Jimmy Carter, on his first full day in office in 1977, issued a pardon that affected more people for men who evaded the Vietnam War draft. But that was what is known as the categorical pardon. Mr. Biden commutations are for individual cases. So what they were saying is that Jimmy Carter said anybody associated with this can be pardoned. But for some reason, Joe Biden is pardoning people's individual cases. When you look at the chart, it's what I sent you, right? It's making you do a password. It's not making me do a password. But anyway, I'm going to read it to you guys since you can't see it. But if you look at Jimmy Carter, he pardoned 534 people and 29 people he commuted. He's the second most or the third most. Look at these Democrats. They sorry as a mug. So Joe Biden is second most. Barack Obama pardoned more people and commuted more sentences than Joe Biden. So Joe Biden is second. Let me give you the numbers. Barack Obama, and Joe Biden ain't done yet. This is just the beginning of, I think, of what he's doing. But Barack Obama commuted the sentences of 1,715 people, and he pardoned 212 people. Next behind him is Joe Biden at 65 people he pardoned and 1,600 people he commuted. And then when you look at Donald Trump only commuted 94 people and pardoned 144 people. So that's not even close. Barack Obama, 1,700 to Donald Trump's 94. Joe Biden, 1,600 to Donald Trump's 94. I would like to know, who are these people? Now, maybe Joe Biden or Barack Obama commuted the sentences of people who were convicted on low-level crimes. Maybe that's how he got to 1,700. But I don't know how Joe Biden got to 1,600 at this point. And I just wonder, is he going to pardon so many people that when he throw in these randos who he knows will be indicted and stuff, that people are going to overlook it? I wonder. Let me just do something real quick. Sports related. Do y'all want to do that clip? Y'all want to do that one? All right, I ain't waste my time then. Nick told me that I can't make a good video out of that video. He said he don't even know why I would even think about doing that, because I'm trash. I can't believe Nick just said that live on television. He said, "You trash, bro. You shouldn't even try to make another video because it ain't gonna be good." I'm just gonna mention this real quick. We don't need to talk much about it, but Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell both having a medical emergency within a week. Nancy Pelosi hospitalized during a congressional delegation in Europe. Her office says 18 House members are part of the delegation, according to the House of Representatives. Oh, I don't even know where the rest of this paper at. And I saw a video, and I do not think this is real. Is it real, Nick? Is it real, Dylan? I saw a picture of Mitch McConnell freezing again with a headband on. No, it's fake. It's fake. That's fake? I knew. I looked at that and I said, that looked kind of like AI. Yeah. That band looked kind of weird on his head. Yeah, it looked real. But he still needs to get his butt out of office because he's too old. So Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and the Senate will never confirm their own demise of term limits. She broke her hip. Man, breaking your hip leads to, people losing their life. So I really hope she recover and find Jesus. I'm not. Let me not lie. I don't care what happened to that woman. She evil as a mug. Maybe I should care. If I were to care, I hope that she recover and find Jesus. Maybe that's what I should say. Is that right? That's what I should say, y'all. All right. I think we're done. I wanna give a couple of announcements real quick and appreciate all of you guys who gave super chats. Let me just mention a few here. Oh, it's only a few. This thing don't even remember super chats. The Outlaw Feminist, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, I really enjoyed listening to your perspective. LNR, be safe. Maybe that's love and respect. And it says, be dangerous. Appreciate it. But why put it like that in the first place? Question mark. I don't know what that's referring to. Let's see. The Pirate King podcast. Thanks so much for joining the Tatum squad. Trump granted executive clemency to 237 people. That's for all the hard work. All right. Let me tell you guys about a few things that I have going right now. If you want to go to the Tatum store, you can. We got a discount for those of you who want to shop. I think it was Christ Must Live 35. Christ Must Live 35. You'll get 35% off the entire store. You have to order before the 18th if you want to get your stuff before Christmas. So you got about a week to order. You got to order before the 18th, less than a week, if you want to get your order there before Christmas. Also, I want to tell you guys about the Angel Tree campaign, which we're almost to our goal. I would love to see us add more people to this. So right now we're at 2,800 kids that we're able to get a gift for Christmas, for families who are incarcerated or parents who are incarcerated all over the country. Our goal is 4,000, which you can see this meter. Our goal is 4,000. We almost to the end of our goal. We're almost to 3,000. I'm hoping that we can get to 3,000 by the end of this live stream. We can get to 3,000, and then that's a good start. And then we got just 1,000 more to give. So if you want to give, you can. If you don't worry about it. Just catch me on the other live stream. But if you feel compelled to give to this campaign, by all means, do as God has purposed in your heart. $30 will help one kid get a gift for Christmas, a special letter from their parent who's incarcerated, who works with the Prison Fellowship Academy, and then also a Bible. $30. Even when I was broke, I think I could stretch $30. I could, if I felt compelled in my heart that this was a good cause, right? And I can tell you we've been doing this for several years. We actually sign up to be an organization that helps package up the gifts and throw a party for the children that come and get the gifts from their parents. Now, we waited too late. Well, we didn't know that we could this year, so we missed the opportunity. So next year we'll do it here, and I'll have all you guys who want to volunteer to come wrap presents and do all of that stuff. And I think it's going to be an incredible, incredible, incredible time. So if you give, I appreciate it. The price match that's on the table right now is $5,000. My homeboy I matched his $5,000 gift. And if you have $5,000 to give, for those of you who can match that $5,000 gift, I'm going to let you come to Arizona, get you here. We're going to go out to eat and celebrate a little bit. And that's a way that I'll say thank you to those who want to price match. Because I know there's people out here that got enough to give a $5,000 price match. And if you can, you can. If you can't, there'll be other opportunities for you to give. And one day you may can. I remember there was a point in time where I used to go out to eat and I couldn't even give a tip. I used to go out to eat. Bill be like $40. I'm like, I ain't got it. I just got 40. That's all I got. And I shouldn't have spent 40. I should have bought some groceries because I ain't got no money to buy no groceries. Now I got to eat eggs and ham and pepper jack cheese. That was my meals that I used to eat. Ham, cheese, pepper jack cheese. Ham, eggs, pepper jack cheese. It used to be good too. That's why in the morning I make all that up. And that was my breakfast. And I try to eat that all day. That's how broke I was when I was a police officer. After paying my mortgage, child support, taxes, everything, I used to have like $100, $120 left for the entire month for me to eat. Man, I used to go to Nico's and give me a breakfast burrito. That burrito be like $5, $8. That was my lunch every day, $8 lunch. when I was at work. When I wasn't at work, I was just eating random stuff. And then I worked my little overtime, and I probably see like $600 for the month, maybe. And that was me hunching that overtime. But, man, I know what it's like to not have a lot. But I used to give even though I didn't have a lot, because I had the experience with God that if I gave and I showed and I reap what I sow, you know what I mean? So if I'm blessing other people, even when it was a stretch for me, I always feel like I always felt blessed. Even now, you know, God has blessed me to be financially stable, and I do the best I can to give to every cause I can. And I'll say this, and I'm going to shut up and get off here. I heard rumors that there are people who are billionaires and multimillionaires that don't even give tips at a restaurant. I don't know how people live their life like that. There's no way in the world I could be making $20 million a month and I won't give a person a $100 tip. I don't know. But I made a promise to God that God blessed me with money like that. People are gonna be getting tips, change their life. I give tips now to change people's lives. I'll say this, the biggest tip I gave was because I had a speaking engagement that paid me a good amount of money. And I took some of that speaking engagement money and I gave a $1,500 tip to somebody. It was actually a group, it was like 3 people that stayed at a steak restaurant. And they kept it open for me, and they were very nice. And I gave them $1,500 tip. I think the most I gave one person was probably $600 or $800 tip or something like that. And it's because God put it on my heart to give. So whenever I go and speak and they pay me money, I take that money and I give a good tip in the city that I'm in. And that's just my agreement with God. If you bless me to be successful, I'm going to give. All right. Nick is about to have a stroke over here. He said, shut up, quit talking about Jesus. So I'm going to get off here. I'm just playing. He didn't say that. Or I'll fire him if he said that. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a good weekend. I'll see y'all on Monday. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave.